Allow your attentive awareness now to settle softly into the quiet, unnoticed pauses that rest gently at the edges of your breath. Those delicate, shimmering spaces that unfold like a secret temple between the inhale and the exhale. Spaces so subtle and so profound that they often pass unnoticed. Yet in their stillness lies a doorway to the timeless, a luminous threshold beyond the restless churn of thought and time. Notice how each breath, like a sacred wave upon the infinite ocean of your being, carries within it not only the inrush of life, but also a momentary, exquisite stillness, a fragile, weightless pause that is neither inhaling nor exhaling, but simply being. This pause is not a mere absence. It is a presence so vast and deep that it cradles the entire expanse of your awareness in a gentle, unspoken embrace, inviting you to rest in the magnificent silence that weaves itself seamlessly through the rhythm of your breathing. You do not need to chase this space or grasp it tightly. It is always here, a quiet refuge unfolding effortlessly, like the soft opening of a lotus flower at dawn, revealing the boundless light dwelling eternally within. As you soften into this pause, feel the subtle unfolding of time itself, as if the ticking of seconds slows to a tender, almost imperceptible pulse, revealing the vast, unmeasured now that exists beyond the compulsive urgency of the mind's endless narratives. This space between breaths is like a gentle, luminous thread stitching together the fabric of your experience, weaving a seamless tapestry where past and future dissolve into a single radiant present. Allow yourself to rest deeply in this luminous gap, where the rush of inhalation has just settled and the invitation of exhalation has not yet begun. A fragile, sacred instant pregnant with infinite possibility. It is here, in this luminous interlude, that you begin to glimpse the profound non-duality of existence, the merging of form and formlessness, the undivided wholeness that underlies every fleeting moment of your life. This pause is not empty. It is the pure, unconditioned space of awareness itself, the silent witness that holds all things without judgment, without effort, and without boundary. Imagine now the breath as a river flowing endlessly through the landscape of your being. And in that river, there is a moment where the current slows, where the water gathers in a still pool beneath the surface. A quiet eddy where the rushing movement pauses just long enough to reveal the deep, clear reflection of the sky and trees above. This stillness is not separate from the river's flow. It is the river's very essence, the hidden depth that gives life to its movement. So too, the space between your breaths is not apart from your breathing, but the essence that animates it, the silent heart that beats beneath the surface of every inhalation and exhalation. To rest here is to touch the unchanging ground beneath the shifting waves, to know the vast, still ocean within that is never disturbed by the passing storms of thought or emotion. Notice how this space invites you to surrender the relentless doing, the endless becoming, and simply be in the effortless presence that pre-exists all activity, all striving, all stories. As you linger in this sacred pause, feel how the boundaries between inside and outside begin to soften and dissolve. There is no longer a separate you observing the breath. Instead, there is only the breath and the awareness of the breath, intertwined in an intimate dance of presence. The space between breaths is a seamless continuum where subject and object merge, where the illusion of separation melts away like morning mist under the warming sun. This is the doorway to the timeless, the place where the eternal witness reveals itself as the very fabric of your being, unchanging, vast, and endlessly welcoming. You are no longer a traveler moving through time, but the timeless presence in which time itself unfolds. The pause is a gentle reminder that beneath all appearances, beneath the ceaseless flow of sensations and thoughts, there is a stillness that never moves, a light that never fades, a peace that cannot be disturbed. Allow this recognition to seep deeply into your body, like a cool, soothing rain, washing away the dust of distraction and anxiety. Feel the spaciousness that arises when you stop chasing the next breath or resisting the last, when you simply rest in the natural pause that is always present, always available. This space cradles you like the sky cradles the clouds, effortlessly and without condition. Here you find the profound relief of knowing that you are not your breath, nor your thoughts, nor your stories. You are the vast open space in which all breaths and stories arise and dissolve, untouched and free. The pause between breaths is a sacred sanctuary where you can lay down the heavy load of expectation and outcome, where the mind's relentless striving can soften into a quiet curiosity and gentle acceptance. It is a luminous invitation to remember your true nature as the boundless, unshakable awareness that observes all things but remains unchanged by them. In this stillness, you can perceive how every breath, every moment, carries within it the full spectrum of existence: birth and death, movement and rest, form and formlessness. And yet none of these can define or limit the spacious essence that you are. The space between breaths is a subtle, radiant thread of continuity that weaves together all the fragments of your experience into a seamless whole. It is the silent pulse of the cosmos beating within you, the unspoken language of being that transcends words and concepts. Resting here, you begin to sense the profound freedom that arises when you stop identifying with the fleeting currents of change and instead recognize yourself as the infinite, timeless space in which all change occurs. This freedom is not a distant goal, but a present reality, accessible in every pause, every breath, every moment of gentle awareness. As you continue to dwell in this exquisite stillness, notice how the very quality of your attention transforms. It becomes softer, more spacious, less grasping, less driven by need or fear. The space between breaths invites a gentle surrender, a letting go of control, and a deep trust in the unfolding mystery of life itself. You realize that this pause is not an interruption, but the very rhythm of existence, the sacred heartbeat of the universe echoing within your own chest. It is a sanctuary where the restless mind can find rest, where the fragmented self can dissolve into the seamless totality of being. Here in this tender, radiant gap, you glimpse the profound truth that you are already whole, already free, already home. Feel the tender, spacious relief that arises as you rest fully in this pause, this luminous space that needs no fixing, no changing, no escaping. It is the pure, unadulterated presence that has been with you all along, patiently waiting for your recognition. Allow yourself to sink deeper into this knowing, this sacred pause that is both empty and full, both still and alive, both finite and infinite. It is the silent song of the cosmos, the breath of the eternal, the ground of all that is. And as you rest here, you become aware that you have found the simplest, most profound truth of all, that the space between your breaths is the doorway to the timeless, the threshold of freedom, and the heart of your own boundless being. Allow your attention now to soften and gently rest in the luminous stillness that nestles quietly between each breath, that subtle pause cradled at the very edge of inhale and exhale, a delicate, sacred doorway opening wide into the vast expanse of timelessness. Notice how this space, so fleeting and often overlooked, is not merely a gap or a void, but a shimmering, radiant threshold where the ordinary flow of time momentarily dissolves, where the restless mind's ceaseless narrative hushes into profound silence. This pause is a gentle lake, undisturbed by the ripples of thought, reflecting the boundless sky of your own awareness with a crystal clarity that invites you to rest fully, without effort, in the pure presence that lies beyond all becoming and fading. Feel the exquisite nuance of this pause as it arises naturally, without force or contrivance, an effortless stillness that blooms effortlessly at the apex of inhalation, when the breath softens and lingers before the gentle release, and again at the tender conclusion of exhalation, where the body whispers its last sigh before drawing in anew. These moments are not empty. They are laden with a subtle fullness, a pregnant pause, pregnant not with anticipation, but with the vast, ungraspable mystery of what simply is. Like a single drop of dew poised delicately on the edge of a leaf, balanced between earth and sky, the space between breaths holds a luminous potential that is neither past nor future, but the eternal now shimmering in perfect equilibrium. As you settle deeper into this sacred interlude, begin to perceive how this pause is not separate from the breath itself, but is its very essence, an invisible thread weaving together each inhalation and exhalation into an unbroken tapestry of presence. It is the silent pulse beneath the rhythm, the gentle heartbeat of existence that whispers softly beneath the loud clamor of your thoughts and the endless chatter of your mind. In this space, the habitual rush to grasp, to plan, to judge dissolves like mist under the morning sun, revealing the profound freedom that arises when you release all attachment to movement and outcome, and simply abide in the stillness that breathes you. Allow yourself to rest in this tender suspension, feeling the natural ebb and flow of your breathing body without resistance or expectation, as if you were a leaf floating effortlessly on a slow, meandering river that carries you gently through the landscape of this moment. Notice how the space between breaths invites you into a vast openness where time no longer pulls you forward, nor memory tugs you backward. Here, the mind's usual compulsion to accelerate, to fill every silence with thought, softens and becomes like a distant echo, faint and far away, while your awareness expands like a wide, unbroken sky stretching infinitely beyond the horizon of your usual experience. This pause is a luminous portal, a threshold where the ordinary rules of time and self dissolve into a radiant expanse of pure being. It is the silent, sacred ground beneath the shifting sands of your identity, where the restless waves of desire, fear, and doubt settle into a deep, unshakable stillness. In the space between breaths, you glimpse the subtle, unchanging essence that underlies all movement and change, the timeless presence that witnesses the dance of form without being carried away by it. Here, the sense of separation softens into a gentle blur, and you realize that the watcher and the watched, the breath and the breathless, the moment and eternity are not two, but a seamless, indivisible whole. Feel the profound relief that arises when you stop chasing after the next breath, when you cease the endless task of mentally pushing and pulling the air through your body. Instead, simply rest in the exquisite pause itself, that brief, shimmering stillness that holds the entire rhythm of life in a tender embrace. Like the space between the notes in a song, this pause gives meaning and depth to the melody of your existence. Without it, the breath would be a chaotic rush, a relentless pounding without silence. But with it, the breath becomes a sacred dance. Each inhalation a blossoming, each exhalation a gentle folding back, and each pause a luminous moment of grace that holds the entire cycle in perfect balance. As you deepen into this experience, notice how the space between breaths is not confined to the body alone, but extends infinitely outward, like a quiet ocean that cradles countless waves without disturbance. It is the vast, open sky beneath the fleeting clouds of your thoughts, the silent ground beneath the shifting forms of your emotions. This space is the very fabric of your true nature, unbounded, timeless, and serene, waiting patiently beneath the turbulent surface of your daily life. To rest here is to remember your essential freedom, to come home to the profound truth that you are not your breath, your thoughts, or your feelings, but the unchanging presence in which all these arise and subside like passing shadows on a sunlit wall. Let this realization settle softly into every fiber of your being. As you linger in the space between breaths, feel how it dissolves the illusion of time's relentless march and the story of the separate self striving endlessly through moments that slip away like grains of sand. In the sacred pause, the ceaseless doing is replaced by gentle being, and the fragmented pieces of your experience coalesce into a seamless whole. Here you are not caught in the endless cycle of past regrets or future anxieties, but fully anchored in the radiant now, the luminous, unchanging heart of existence that has no edges, no beginning, and no end. Rest now in the profound spaciousness of this moment, allowing the space between your breaths to expand like a boundless horizon, carrying you beyond the confines of time and thought into the infinite embrace of pure presence. Feel the exquisite freedom that arises when you realize that this pause is always available, a constant sanctuary that you can return to again and again, no matter the storms that rage in the outer world or the inner landscape. It is the silent song of existence itself, the unspoken truth that beneath all movement and change, you are forever held in a sacred stillness that can never be disturbed or diminished. Breathe softly into this vast openness, knowing that the space between your breaths is not an absence, but a luminous presence, a radiant field of pure awareness where the dance of life unfolds effortlessly and without resistance. Here, the boundaries between self and other, past and future, form and formlessness gently dissolve, revealing the seamless unity of all that is. You are invited to rest here, in this exquisite pause, bathed in the tender light of your own timeless nature, a place where the breath no longer pulls you forward or pushes you back, but simply is in perfect harmony with the eternal rhythm of existence itself.